Since the October 7 Hamas attacks, Israel has launched deadly airstrikes and carried out relentless bombings on the densely populated and occupied Gaza Strip, killing thousands of civilians, women and children, destroying whole neighborhoods, and internally displacing half of the population of the Palestinian people. Currently, the Israeli government is carrying out an unprecedented ground invasion and mass atrocities are mounting by the day. Gaza is bleeding, and Palestinians are on the brink of erasure from their own homelands. His Excellency, Palestinian Ambassador to Bangladesh, speaks to the Daily Star in an exclusive interview about the Israeli government's genocide of Palestinian civilians, West's hypocrisy, the urgent need to let humanitarian aid pass through the borders, and the solidarity that Palestinians need in this darkest hour.
Related to the Israeli aggression, I believe that it's unprecedented aggression for the big portion of civilians, especially children. Today we have close to 4,000 children, 2,000 women out of 8,000 in general. So you have the vast majority of that is from women and from children. That gives you an indication that this war is not against Hamas, it's the war against the Palestinian people. The same thing in the West Bank. West Bank, we don't have Hamas or the power. And yet, till today, we have 110 people who were killed by settlers and by soldiers, just because they were cultivating their olive. It is the time to cultivate olive now. So this is what I meant, this war is against the people of Palestine. They want to drive these people out of the country, out of Palestine, so they can have only geography, no demography. That is the main intention. People under occupation, they have 7 choices, and they have to choose one. It's either you accept the occupation, live under occupation, normally, peacefully, accept whatever they inflicted on you. The second choice is to leave the country. And the third choice is resist. So we chose the right choice, which is to resist the occupation in any way that we can. Peaceful manner, armed struggle manners, in every possible way. Because that's how you fight, that's how you resist, that's how you gain your freedom. You use every option available. Related to the Western media, it's very unfortunate to say that the Western media has presented the fake realities. And every day we are seeing that realities and the truth are coming out. I read a report today. It's mentioned in Haaretz, the Israeli newspaper, about that half of the people were killed on the 7th were military in Israel. And the other half, majority of them were killed by the Israeli police during the exchange of fire between Hamas and between them. Now, in the future, you will find more and more evidence which prove that what they have presented on that day, on the 7th and the 8th, was totally wrong. They wanted to mobilize as much people as possible from the Western world to stand blindly behind Israel, as their government did that. But the people, first few days, they followed that, they believed that, but later on, and thanks to the internet and thanks to the social media, they have seen the opposite, totally the opposite. And that's why they start moving to the other direction. They're not anymore backing their governments, they're backing the truth. And the truth lies with the Palestinian people. And that's why you see demonstration all over the world. It is a matter of, it's related not only to Palestinian, by the way. This is a matter of humanity. It's a humanitarian issue. It's not an issue between this nation and that nation. It's humanity here at stake. We just wanted to know, are we living in a civilized world or are we living in a jungle? It's who decides. If we're living in the jungle, power decides, not right. Right has no place. Right have no power. But if we live in a civilized world, then the right have the power. And this is the fight here between the right of the power and the power of the right. This is the real fight. And it is up to the people where would they like to stand. It's their decision to make. And the majority, they're standing behind the right against the. I mean, Israel have the most sophisticated weapon in the world. They have the most deadly bombs that any country has. Gaza Strip, for the people, they think it's a giant country. Gaza Strip is a 365 square kilometer. It's such a tiny place. It's been under siege for 17 years. From sea, from air, and from land. It's completely under siege. And yet, they want to occupy the occupation again. It is already occupied, and then they want to reoccupy it. So they want, the people are suffocating in Palestine for the last 17 years, in Gaza as well as in the West Bank. And human nature, you do not accept that. You rebel, you go against it, you fight it. You fight evil, that's what you do. And then you pay price. But we didn't expect that the price is going to be from our women and from our children. I have the press conference for Mr. Biden that he does not believe or take under consideration the numbers. And what the other side did, the Palestinian side, they wrote the name, the telephone number, people died, the ID number of the people who were killed, and send it to His Excellency. Check it. Give it to the Israeli and ask him, is that correct? We have presented that proof with names, with full identification of those people who lost women, children, who lost their lives. We have nothing to hide. Why should we hide? Why should we increase the number? It's not in our favor to do that, because we don't want to also give the impression to our people who feel that they're in a horror situation. We don't want to do that. It's not in our favor to increase the number. Actually, in our favor is to decrease the number. But we're telling the truth, the realities. This is the truth. But it's like, when you decide to commit a crime, it doesn't. You don't need you don't need excuse to do that. Finish, because it's already in your mind, your mindset. You want to commit this. Joe Biden and the Prime Minister of UK, and for a certain extent the French and the German and the Italian, clearly they presented a license to Netanyahu to kill. It was a license to kill. And that's what Netanyahu did. And he said it openly, widely, during his press conference, that I have mobilized a strong support and solidarity from the Western world. To do what? To kill as much as possible from the Palestinians. This is the proof. Kill as much as possible from them. So he will drive them out. We'll have the second Nakba. Israel did not fulfill any of the Security Council resolutions. How do you expect them to fulfill a General Assembly resolution? As you said, it's not binding. There's only, the truth is, the only truth is that if Mr. Biden tell Netanyahu, enough is enough, you have to stop, we don't need General Assembly, we don't need security. This is the truth. Nothing but the truth, I'm telling you. Only Joe Biden can tell Netanyahu to stop. And then Netanyahu has to stop. No one else. We have 120 votes supported that resolution. The day Biden came to power, White House, he showed his interest in solving the Palestinian problem, but he showed no interest whatsoever from the Israeli side. That's why, if you realize, there was no immediate invitation to the Prime Minister of Israel to visit the White House. And there was some big dispute between Biden and Netanyahu. It was very clear. Because Netanyahu was against the idea of establishing any independent state. He was clear on this issue. He didn't hide it, he was clear about it. And Biden was not happy about this issue. He was against it. But he could do nothing. He couldn't put enough pressure on Netanyahu. Because Netanyahu believed that he had enough powerful Jewish lobby in the United States of America so they can control the White House. So, but when this incident took place, and the election is coming soon, so Biden took this position. He became suddenly a friend and the brother to Netanyahu. He hugged him. He forgot all that past 2 years, but Netanyahu, how Netanyahu embarrassed him. He forgot all that, and he became a new man. This is just to show to the Israeli his loyalty, to the Zionism his loyalty, that he's willing to do whatever it takes for Mr. Netanyahu to do whatever he wants, to kill as much as he wants from the Palestinian civilian people. For what? This is the question. For what, Mr. Biden, are you doing this? What is the outcome? Hamas, you cannot destroy this. You cannot destroy an ideology. You cannot do that. You know that very well that you cannot do that. You want the prisoners of war, you can sit and negotiate a deal, and they're open to the deal. It is very clear. But I don't understand how much pressure Biden is being receiving, and how much is he able to take the right stand, reject all that, reject them, just become a human being, nothing else. Just become a responsible war leader. You are leading supposed to be the most powerful country, a country who only speak about human rights, about human values, about human morality, about all these nice things. Where are those things which you have been lecturing us for the last 50 years, giving lecture to the world, how that they should abide with all of it? Why don't you yourself abide with it? How can I believe you anymore that you really mean business when you talk about human rights issue? How can I ever believe you? If you don't apply it on yourself, how can you apply it on others? You don't have it. You have no right to lecture us. You're a criminal. You are a criminal. You cannot come and lecture us about criminology. Do you think that this decision was taken only 2 weeks ago? It's been more than 2 years they're preparing for that. Much before the idea of the deal with Saudi Arabia. Much before. So we cannot connect this with that. We are under occupation. We want to resist occupation regardless there is a deal with this country or with that country. So connecting this to that, it doesn't work. Look, we don't like bloodshed. Not from anything. Especially when it comes to children. Nobody likes it. No human being will have conscience would accept the killing or the losing of a child or an innocent child. No. At the same time, we have to take on the consideration that 75 years the Palestinian people are losing. The blood has never stopped of the people of Palestine. So treat us like others. Don't treat us because of our religion or our skin color. Treat us as a human being. That is the most important thing. Why you forgot us for such a long time and now you remember? Now, only after the 7th of October, it's like the war started the 7th of October. The war started in 1948. The misery of the Palestinian people started in 1948, not on the 7th of October. So why the Western world are trying to characterize this issue as the war started on the 7th? The genocide took place on the 7th. The horrific attacks done on the 7th. It's not true. What about the other side? What he did for the last 75 years? Why do we forget the big picture and we just concentrate on a smaller? It's not fair. It isn't fair at all. The people, I think the people of Palestine, they have something, I don't think other nations do it. And I don't know how or why. They do mourn their children. But this makes them more strong. They become hungry, they become thirsty, they live without electricity, they live in a miserable life. Okay? But that will never break their will. And that is proven for the last 75 years. You can never break the will of the Palestinian people. You can never break determination. It is the opposite. I don't belong to this. I belong to the people, the others. But today, there's nothing called this or that. It's we are all Palestinian. All of us. We all have one vicious, horrible enemy. All of us. Because this enemy did not choose one part of the Palestinian people and left the other one. He's killing civilians. None Hamas. They don't belong. Those 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, few years, maybe, are they Hamas? What is the justification? They say Hamas is behind the using human shield. This is just to justify the killing of the people. It is not true. The people have to see the picture. The people who believe they wanted to protect human rights and they wanted to teach us lessons about humanity, teach us lessons about values, and teach us lessons about human rights and democracy and all this. They should have presented the case to us in a manner that human being mind can accept it. Logic. We want to see logic. We want to hear logic. Why Prime Minister Ishaq Rabin was killed? Start from here. He was killed because he was sincere about peace. And who killed him? The person who instigated is Benjamin Netanyahu. And the guy who killed him is a Jewish. And then they said he's crazy, he's mad. It's like, stay with him. They killed him because they don't want peace. The enemy of peace killed Rabin. And since then, all the government of Israel, none were really serious about establishing Palestinian independent state or giving the Palestinian people their rights. None. Clearly. And then they come up with excuse. If we establish the state of Palestinian, it will be another Iran. That's not true. That's not true. Look, they come up with lots of fabrication, lots of issues, just to justify the wrongdoing there. It's simple as that. If the Western world, the acting Western world, I'm talking about the acting one, the powerful governments, headed by the United States of America, plus the Security Council members, have a conference, international conference, okay? And they were all genuine, and they were all of them really mean to make peace. They can make peace by putting pressure on Israel. But what kind of pressure is there? This is the deal. They have to present Israel that according to what they say. They said two-state solution on the border of 1967, which is 22% of the land for the Palestinians, who are the majority. They presented this deal to Israel. Not please accept it. You must accept it. There's no other choice. But there should be something else, we said. Otherwise, if you don't accept it, there'll be consequences. There'll be economic sanctions and so on. This is the only time when whoever is in power has to accept this. But if they just say it and talk, they've been talking for 33 years. Nothing. We've been negotiating since 1990, but it's now 2023. So it's instead of 3 years. What did we get? Nothing. Instead of getting something, actually, we lost. We lost a lot. We lost more and more land. More and more Jewish settlement is being built in the occupied Palestinian territory. More and more, we have almost 600 checkpoints in the West Bank, Israeli checkpoints. If you want to travel from one village to another village, you can walk, it will take you 15 minutes, but if you go by car, it will take you 2-3 hours. Can you imagine? Not because of the traffic jam, because we have to stop so many checkpoints, and each one of them, they'll check through and check through and check. We have 7 women in ambulances in Palestine. They deliver their babies inside the ambulance because the Israeli checkpoint refused to allow the ambulances to pass. And they watch the woman delivering the baby, laughing and joking. So see what kind of people will be. They force us to hate them. They force us to call them enemy. We don't hate anybody, but what they're doing against us, they leave no choice but to fight them with everything that we have. It's their responsibility. They bear the responsibility, not us. We are the people with the right. They don't have any right to do what they're doing to us. Killing people like this cannot be justified. Cannot be justified under the line of self-defense. That's not how we do self-defense. Egyptians understood this issue from before the incident. Was this story was told during Mr. Trump initially, that the Palestinian state could be in Egypt, not in Palestine. So the Egyptian obviously rejected, and we also revealed the Egyptian rejected that our state should be given our ancestors. Now the plan is very clear. They wanted forcibly to drop the people out of Gaza, drive them out of Gaza to Egypt. What they say is that, okay, we want your safety and security. It is dangerous for you to stay in Gaza. You just leave now for a certain time until we finish the ground operation, then you can come back. We have done that in 1948 and we never came back. So why would you allow us to come back now? So we're not going to be stupid to accept this deal. The Egyptians are taking a very strong and strong determination, and they are insisting they will not allow one single Palestinian to immigrate or to pass the crossing to Egyptian vessels. It's not allowed, and this is in our favor, in our best interest. This is the compromise now it's being done. That open the border, let the people go out and get as much as you want from the medicine and from the thing. That's why they're stopping the Israeli. They're not allowing the medicine and the essentials and the fuel to Gaza. Because they want the people to suffer. And then finally they think the people, after that, they have no choice but just to break the border and just to be free. That's what exactly their intention. But the people are not going to do that. Even we die in our home, in our land, and we don't want to immigrate to anywhere else. We will never immigrate. So the position in Egypt is perfect. Hopefully, and I'm sure that the Egyptians will never change their mind. They should never allow this to happen. We were supposed to have 500 trucks every day. Fuel, food, medicine, all the other essential things. Imagine 500 trucks, you're talking about What? If you compare it with all the Palestinian population, 4 kg for every person, 4 kilogram, food, medicine, the equipment you use at home, clothes, everything, 4 kg. Push it down. Today, we're getting 20.5 tons a day. What can 20.5 tons do to 2.5 million people? The world should be united not for Palestinians. They should united for one thing only, to save humanity. That's what the world should do. We are in the center. We are in the center of that. So that's what we need. World should, must unite. And they're gathering. They are. Look at the demonstration in London yesterday. It's unbelievable. Look in Madrid, in Barcelona, in all the cities in Europe. It's unbelievable. And it's growing week after week, more and more and more. People are realizing. People have sense also. We just want the government to follow the people if they are wrong. So we want the whole world to unite, to protect and save humanity from being slaughtered.